So if you want to know what 320 horsepower sounds like in a car with no bodywork and a snorkel right behind your left ear, then I'll show you. You know what, that's even a buzz for me. That's properly quick. Down here in Somerset, there is a car company that uses a very old name, Ariel, and they build what is essentially a sexy ladder. It breaks all conventions of what a normal car is, and this is the latest iteration. It's all new, believe it or not. This is the Atom 4, using a turbocharged engine. I'm going to review this car around the roads that I grew up on, which excites me immensely. I'm Jonny Smith. Welcome to the late... Actually, no, I haven't finished. No, because they actually make a sexy ladder that has 2 wheels, not 4. This is the Ariel Ace, and this has been out a couple of years and it fascinates me. But I can't ride or review a bike with any degree of credibility on the Late Break Show. I would love to find someone who could. Do you know anyone who might be able to review a bike with a degree of credibility?
Sorry, I don't. No idea.
Okay, thank you, thanks. It's awkward. Of course it's Shakey Byrne. You might have seen the idle chat recently on the Late Break Show. Well, Shakey is on board as our 2-wheeled man with a new playlist called Byrne Out. And this is the first episode of the Late Break Show, Byrne Out.
Byrne Out is proudly supported by EBC Brakes.
Right, we're here at the Ariel factory down in Somerset, taking a look at this, the Ariel Ace. Spoken with the bosses of the company, and basically with this motorcycle it all starts right here. The first thing on this extensive list that you can see of options for this bike is the seat. So you start with your seat, you choose your seat, and from there you work backwards and forwards, and trust me when I tell you that the list of possibilities is endless. Working forwards, obviously this one is the more custom kind of cruiser type bike. It has the Ariel girder forks on it, which they really stand out. As you can see, the bike in the background there, running the conventional Öhlins forks, both are possible. In fact, pretty much anything's possible with this manufacturer. This particular model's running the Öhlins TTX shock in there. Funnily enough, ironically, it's pretty much the same thing we used to use in the Ducati Superbike that I used to race. This bike's got the BST carbon wheels on it, another very expensive option I should imagine. Carbon mudguard. Working your way back, there's different size fuel tanks you can have, there's different colours you can have. This screen here is an option, the fly screen. The engine of the bike, the heart of the motorcycle if you like, is from the Honda VFR 1200. So it's running the shaft drive transmission. They can make the bike with the DCT, so it's like semi-automatic as well. Obviously you can see this one has its rad scoops done in carbon fibre. The exhaust, I mean, look at the back wheel, just look at the wheel. It's such a nice looking thing. Super excited to get a little ride on this later on. I haven't really ridden anything for like 4 years or something, so I'm a little bit nervous too, but I'm sure it's going to be great fun. Right, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I definitely wasn't expecting the first bike that I jumped on to be a Ariel Ace. It's flipping freezing. I've got the traction turned off, so yep, the traction control is definitely off. You know what I could do with right now is my Waze on or something like that, so I actually knew where the actual road was going, because kind of riding around with all these damp patches and mud and crap all over the road, thinking, oh my god. You know, I did maybe 100 or a couple of 100 miles over the space of about 3 months last year, and that was literally the first riding that I'd done since the crash. So it's been a long time since you know, since I was last out and road testing motorcycles. Obviously this is going to be, you know, far more rare. You're not going to ride along on a Diavel and you know, go into a town and get looked at like you'll get looked at on this thing. Literally feels like I'm riding on marbles or ice. So cold, I dread to think what the temperature is, but should we give them a third gear flyby? What do you reckon? Fourth gear might be a tiny bit rapido. This thing, the VFR 1200 engine in this is producing around 175 horsepower, so a little third gear wind on that's just come in now is going to feel pretty quick.
I've been wanting to come here for years, and I feel a bit embarrassed that this is like my home car company, being from this county. I've just never come to Ariel.
Do you know what? I think that the fact that I got this call a couple of days ago to come down here myself from you, it was like unbelievable. Let's go down to Ariel. Let's go and see the cars and the bikes. I'm like, yeah, twist my arm. Let's go.
Yeah. Because I know that this is the only factory that Ariel has. So a lot of the stuff is made off-site and then assembled here. So all the cars and the bikes are made by one person from start to finish. So, which is really cool.
Each bike, each car has a plaque on with the name of the person that made it. Each car and each bike takes about the same amount of time to build, which is around 150 to 200 hours, depending on the spec of the bike or car you buy. So,
is it?
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Look at this billet machine frame. This is the bit you can't see when it's finished.
It takes around 70 hours to mill it from a solid piece of aluminium.
Sugar.
And by all accounts, they throw away something like 8 kilograms worth of aluminium once they've completed it.
Of the swarf, the wastage.
The swarf, yeah.
The carbon wheels, they look like they shouldn't work. They look like they shouldn't cope.
No,
with.
what they look is very cool.
Yeah, they do.
They don't look like they don't work. They look very cool.
They look like they couldn't cope with the strain you're about to give them. It's weird to think the Atom's over 20 years old now, and it's one of those cars you never forget when you've driven one. See, Ariel don't make new products very often because they're a small cottage industry, but the Atom 4, this promises a lot, given that it's the fastest Atom they've ever made. There aren't really any slow ones, and probably the most exhilarating road car I've ever driven is a V8. Which is about 10 years old now, and there's one in this room, I think. And that car, I did a hill climb in it for 5th gear. It absolutely blew me a new one. It really did. It was just phenomenal. It was so sharp, so rapid, so responsive and communicative. It was just wow. Automotive escapism starts here. Suddenly a bus looks massive, really, really massive. It's this mad feeling of vulnerability because you can see everything. I didn't get to go, I haven't been skiing for years, so I thought I might as well use my ski goggles for something. I tend not to wear helmets in these cars. I like to keep the feeling fresh. Okay. My word! That's so damn loud. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. I hope the mic hasn't crapped itself.
A few people have ridden the test bike, and one of them quite a renowned motorcycle journalist, Mark Potter, good friend of mine. He thought that one of the biggest compliments that you could actually pay this bike was the fact that it actually feels really kind of done, really refined, not like something that's, you know, been bolted together in, you know, in a little factory or whatever. It actually feels like a, you know, well-developed bike, and it feels dead smooth. It feels just about right, you know, for the kind of cruisy bike that it is. You know, you look at the, you know, the front forks and stuff on this bike, and it looks cumbersome. I don't know, it looks kind of awkward. Obviously it's very quirky, it's very cool, it's very different, but it doesn't look like it should feel as conventional as it does, if you know what I mean. That was about 1500 or 2000 RPM then, in third gear. The acceleration and the carburation, even though it's fuel injected obviously, when you're just tickling about like this, is absolutely lovely. Really nice thing to ride. One thing I will say, I don't know if it's just because I've got skinny legs or whatever, but if you do try to grip the fuel tank a little bit, you know, the aluminium of the tank actually digs into your legs a little bit, but you know, it's a bit of a minor gripe. If you were just kind of poodling along and you weren't freezing cold like I am right now, you wouldn't be trying to grip the tank so tight, so it wouldn't be a problem anyway. But yeah, first little niggle. What we'll do actually, look, there's a bit of a clear road here, so what we'll do is we'll have a little stop and we'll give you a little bit of an idea of how quick it is from a standing start. So semi-race start, you ready? Here we go. Oh, big wheel spin, big wheel spin. Easy, Tiger. Flipping out, it's been a while since I've been that fast. Obviously that was only 60 because we're in a country lane, officer. Ride's nice and comfortable. Bike absorbs the bumps really well. We're going into a big tunnel now. You want a bit of a sound check? Are you ready for this? Ready? Bit of rev limiter action there. Now you might be looking at it and thinking to yourself, wow, it's a bit of a quirky looking motorbike, and that it is a bespoke motorcycle, which is a fantastic thing. Now the cost of all that comes in at a starting price of around £25,000, £26,000 maybe. This particular model with the carbon wheels, the extras, the fly screen and whatever else is going to be around 31,000. Now you can look at that and you can say, blimey, £30,000 for a motorbike, but you know, the latest Ducati V4R race replica, if you like, is probably around the same sort of money, and there will be more for sure. So I think from a styling point of view, it's truly unique. Now one of the standout eye-catching features about the Ariel Ace obviously is this, the girder front fork. Now this harks back to the original Ariel bikes, the 1930s, the square fours used to have this kind of system, and this is why they did this. This is actually a £4,500 option, but in terms of like turning up somebody and someone looking at your bike and saying, oh my God, what is that? I mean, what a showpiece. It's an amazing piece of engineering. And I guess while we're down here, we can look in this little carbon fibre panel here and you can see this is about the only thing that the Ariel Ace shares with the actual Ariel Atom car. Now, this red button here is for the traction control on the bike, so you can switch the traction control on and off. And these buttons here, these four, are basically for like menu select, you know, up and down, so you can change like trip meters. You can alter all sorts of parameters, maybe miles an hour to kilometers an hour or whatever, and you use these four buttons for that. So the dashboard on the bike, as I said, the only thing it shares with its car brother or sister, depending how you want to look at it. But yeah, again, mounted in a beautiful piece of carbon fibre and lovely made.
The thing about the Atom, all Atoms, but the Atom 4 especially, is it's a reminder of the fact that the chassis is on display. So the chassis of the body, it doesn't follow the convention of a normal vehicle. I love the fact that this is such a statement piece. You can see anyone who's driving it or as a passenger, you can see their feet, their legs, you can see everything. It's all on display. What's mad is I look down at my feet and I can see the entire naked steering rack and just nudity, automotive nudity, and it's just fascinating. Now you can put, I think, little perspex covers on here like the Nomad, because remember Ariel don't just make the bike, the Ace, and this car, the Atom 4, they also make the Nomad, the off-roady, highly successful car, which is it's a cheaper car than this. So these tubes here, the big fatter tubes, they are larger than before. They're 15% stiffer than the previous generation of Atom. And the 3.5, the 3, they're all related to the original Atom. So this is actually an all-new car, believe it or not. These being bigger means that the car is slightly bigger for more occupant space, but crucially also to fit that engine in there, which is the K20C, the turbocharged Civic Type R engine. Stats wise, I mean, it's a 2-litre engine, right? 2.8 seconds to 60, 6.8 seconds to 100 miles an hour. That's the one that interests me most. With top speed, it all ending at 162. I don't know what this would feel like at 162. Now, I've noticed this car is also paddle shift. You can choose to have it paddle shift gearbox. The entry level is normal H pattern 6-speed. This is 6-speed air assisted quaif paddle, 10 grand option. If it's anything like the V8 Atom I drove, it's race bred, it's all out ready for action. While I've got no one in my mirrors, I'm going to initiate launch control. Wow, frigging hell. That is everything you would want from a performance vehicle, really. If you just want out thrills with a bit of control, I guess this is it. That was amazing, wow. That's probably put my heart in my mouth. So this car, you could view it as an excuse for people to get out of a motorbike, or you just want the most raw feeling on 4 wheels that properly makes you sit up and pay attention. That turbo. So down here you've got the unequal length wishbones, this inboard suspension. The car I drove, as well as this car, I've got the optional semi-active Öhlins damping. The entry-level car comes with Bilsteins. The suspension geometry has been changed to improve anti-squat, anti-dive, so it's supposed to handle a little bit better than the previous Atom, which I had no problem with actually. It's not a skitty car despite the fact that you assume it will be. So when you come back here, you can see this here is the intercooler, and that is the K20C 2-litre Civic Type R motor, 320 horsepower, 420 Newton meters from 3000 RPM. Now you can map the engine from 320 to 350 horsepower, which apparently is just a quick software flash, and a lot of owners tend to go for it. I'm not sure you'd need it. I could be wrong. And then you've got this unusual, very stubby exhaust cylinder with no pipes that are sticking out, it's just all cut off. Weirdly, when you're driving it, you don't hear the sort of low exhaust note, you just hear the induction because it's right next to your ear. Ordinarily, when I review a car and I talk about the interior, there's a lot of tech. There's quite a lot of baseline luxury on modern stuff. Here, things are different. No roof, no doors, very thin composite floors, very thin composite buckets, manual wand, how refreshing is that? Brake lines that are visible running down the tubes, and your windscreen is a piece of, well, it's similar to the thing which is between you and the person that you're paying at the post office or at the fuel station. Basically, that's pandemic spec, isn't it? Windscreen. and then what I love about it is you've got all your controls on these little pods, indicators that don't cancel on a little toggle here. That's your boost control for the turbo. You've got 3 stages of boost, 1 being almost off. 3, if you've had it mapped, is 350 horsepower. So yeah, the joy really is in what you don't have. It's all about that engine, the delivery of thrills and power. And actually, you don't need a stereo because that makes so much induction noise and hissing, turbo inhalation, it's ridiculous. Oh my God! Oh man, that's just stupid. I have a suspicion Shakey Byrne will enjoy this car. Oh gosh. There's boost on this car. There's phenomenal boost. And I don't mean the chocolate bar. It's properly quick. That's properly quick.
You're jumping up and down with excitement. It's me that's just ridden it.
You know, it's that mad sort of cantilever girder fork setup. It just looks like a Terminator's arm or something. It's mad. What's it like to ride though?
I really like the power delivery.
Yeah.
I really like the way it's dead linear, like right the way through. You know, if you want to poodle around at sort of 1500 RPM or 2000 RPM, it'll do that all day long and feels really comfortable doing it.
It sounded ace when you ripped it up the road there.
Oh yeah?
Sounded really good.
Sounded ace? How
it
ironic.
It did sound ace.
Did it sound ace?
It did sound ace. Well, you're used to no traction control, right?
Yeah, BSB we have no traction control at all. Obviously the riding position and the the dynamics. This bike's 175 horsepower. It's about 220 or 230 kilos, so it's a lot heavier and a lot less powerful than the bikes I get to ride. But and the riding position's the biggest difference. You know, on a superbike, obviously we're hunched
like
right
that.
over. But yes, it's certainly an attention grabber, isn't it? You know, the second you look at it, you just think, blimey, how can that work?
Well, that's why I was smiling at it. It just looks crazy.
You know, if you rode it up the road and you closed your eyes and it felt really weird, you'd think, well, it's that.
Yeah.
Because that's not normal, but that works.
That's not
I mean, there's
normal.
an Olin shock bolted in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? It's a proper thing and it rides really, really nice. I really enjoy just having a little poodle about 50, 60 mile an hour then and just finding my way around the Somerset countryside.
You need to find your way around the Somerset countryside in the Atom now.
Now, see that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. You've ridden the two-wheeled ladder. You now need the four-wheeled ladder.
Yes.
It's out there. I'm telling you.
Let's do that. I thought you was driving first. Can you remember where we were supposed to go?
Yeah. I can actually. Yeah.
Listen now, you feel a bit vulnerable in it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Hang on a minute, a bike rider feels vulnerable in a car.
Well, I mean, like when you've got open wheels and you've got cars coming the other way, all of a sudden it's like, woo!
Oh yeah. Look how big a Honda Jazz looks. It looks absolutely massive. That's not like a monster truck.
A Honda, it did.
It's just weird. It's just weird.
Watch out for the killer Honda Jazz.
Killer Jazz. Seriously. It's just so boosty.
That particular bike is one of 11 special one-off bikes. 200 horsepower.
200.
£60,000.
Is it?
But everything that pretty much Ariel could make or could do for it is done. I was just contemplating whether or not we should get the spanners out and give the boys a hand and see if we can get one of them plaques on with like Shane and Jonny built this one.
Would you like a bike with Shane built that written on it?
I wouldn't want to ride it, that's for sure.
I bet. Come through here. There's an old museum type place.
So this is the one. This is the one that brings back all the memories.
Oh, yeah, this thing is an absolute weapon. A weapon of mass distraction. It's actually the opposite. It's a weapon of mass focus because you have to be focused. Get asked a lot, oh, what's your favourite car? What's the best driving experience you've ever had? This is always in, I'd say, the top 3. It's properly out there. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah, LC. That was second gear. That's what's quite funny about that. It's like, yeah, that's bastard quick, and that's second. So that's 2.8. Fancy going a penny farthing? I walked straight past it. I feel
Looks
rude.
your size actually.
It's got its pit stand, look.
Yeah.
Do you know, of all the things that you think, how easy would it be to smash all my teeth out? I always think it's a penny farthing.
It's got like a hose pipe for the tyre.
Because you don't have any brakes. You've just got to bail off. Have you ever been in a situation like that? We've had no brakes, you've had to bail out.
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yeah. At the end of the back straight at Snetterton at 187 miles an hour, the fastest crash in BSB history, back in 2006. The pin that held the lever on, the front brake lever on, got to the end of the straight, went like that, and the lever came in, but because the pin wasn't in, it didn't pull the pump on. So I had like 2 or 3 stabs, and it's not like we've got 20 or 30 meters to play with. So it was like, oh dear, this is bad. So a load of rear brake, and then just had to sort of bail at that speed and jump off.
And did you brake much?
No. It did knock me out, but other than that, I was not too bad. Our safety equipment nowadays is just another level.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to edit this so it sounds like you came off that. 187 miles an hour.
I tell you what, my cadence was unbelievable.
Get on it, Shane, get on it.
I was just thinking about giving the old...
Get on the 1900 quadricycle.
Do you notice the forks? This is, so the new bike with the front of girders.
Thing.
This is why they've done it, to sort of pay tribute to the original areas from back in 1930s.
I see.
I did a bit of trials riding in my time,
Did you?
when I was a bit younger, yeah, but not on anything like that. A 500cc 4-stroke single. It looks a bit of a beast, doesn't
But it's bloody heavy though.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it on top of you, upside down after a big section, would you?
Of regret not wearing a helmet. Small amount of regret. It's like being on a roller coaster and the person in the carriage behind you has got a vacuum cleaner that they've put on right over your shoulder. That's what it feels like.
That's bonkers, isn't it?
Well, it's as fast as you ever want a car to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a reg number on
I think honestly that it's a little bit like having a superbike on the road. The bikes and stuff are so capable. This is so much more capable than any road surface will let it be.
Yeah.
That if you took it to a racetrack, it will come into its own. So you're right. Like for the 40 or 50 grand it's going to cost you, what else are you going to get that's going to do this job apart from some heating?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Now that I enjoyed.
Yeah, that's a proper drive. It's very difficult to compare this to any other car because there isn't really another car like it. Your face was a picture in this because I was thinking, can it impress someone like you who is used to high speed, high action?
I love motorbikes. Like motorbikes is me. It's great fun to ride that today. But I was really, really excited to drive the car. Yeah. I've driven one on the track. Really enjoyed it on the track, but you get this overwhelming sense of just speed, aggression, like just lunacy in the car. Like yeah. It feels like really, really nice. You feel the suspension working, you're driving along, you're kind of chatting, it's all civilized. But you drive over a cat's eye and you get this stark reminder that actually this thing is a finely tuned race machine that just wants to go fast because you feel every single bump. Yeah. But the compliance and the way the thing drove, the way it handled was, in cold conditions like today with a bit of damp and stuff like that, just breathtaking. Yeah.
It's always an event to drive an Atom. So well done on the 4th album, Ariel. Tell me about the Ace, because obviously I didn't ride the Ace.
Plenty of bikes cost that much money, but hardly any bikes are going to be as customised for the individual as the Ariel Ace could be for yourself if you were to buy one. If I had the 25,000, £30,000 or whatever this bike is right now, would I buy that Ariel Ace? Probably not, because I would have already given the deposit for the car.
Would you?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
100%. But what a thing! The engine's lovely. If you want to get going, it'll get going. No problem.
It sounded
a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yeah. Custom-made vehicles in Somerset using the hearts of Hondas. It's amazing how creative you can be, isn't it? Awesome.
That was my first episode, the first ever Byrne Out on the Late Break Show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Drop some comments and let us know what you want me to ride next or me to review next. I'm certainly looking forward to doing some more. I've had some great day today. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much, and like and subscribe, otherwise I'm telling on you.
Byrne Out is proudly supported by EBC Brakes.